everybody, I'm Adrian, and here I got my 2014 Maserati Granturismo. So today I'll be giving my 6-year ownership review. So I'll talk about some of the ownership costs, how the car has held up over time. So this car's now a 10-year-old car. It was built in June of 2013, so it's a little over 10 years old now. So let's talk about the exterior. So one of the things that made me fall in love with this car from the very beginning was just how beautiful it looked. And even after all these years, I think this is such a great looking car. And we can see on the 2024 Maserati Granturismo how they actually took some of the shape of this car, just because this design is so timeless that even on the new Granturismo we can see the similarities in the shape. So still a great looking car. I like how the car is gray, so it just goes very well with the carbon fiber. So this one has the carbon fiber package. We got the bottom side skirt. We have the diffusers back here. I believe this was like a $9,000 package, which was crazy back then. Then we have the carbon fiber lip right here. So I think this is a great color combination with the gray wheels as well. And then the Grigio Granito Cuyo, the interior. So I really like this color combination that my car has. There's several interiors. There's red, white, darker brown. So I think this one, it's a great color combination in my opinion. So another interesting thing about this car is so those headlights, they actually move as you're turning the steering wheel. So I actually didn't know that until after I bought the car and drove it at night. So this makes it really well to be driving at night. So like on my case, my vision's like 20/40, so it's not the greatest. So this really helps me out a lot when driving at night, how the headlights change position so I can see the road better as I'm making a turn. So even as old as it is, most people that don't know about this particular car, they think it's a fairly new car. So they are actually surprised when I tell them how old this car is. So yeah, from the exterior, it looks very modern. Now it really starts to show its age once you see the interior, because we can see all the old style buttons. So that's I guess its weakness. There's updates that can be done to upgrade the screen, so you can have iCar, iPlay, I can't remember what the name is, but Bluetooth and all that kind of stuff. So that's probably one upgrade I could do if I wanted, put in a modern screen, and that's a common upgrade that people do. But other than that, I like the interior. I like that classic look of that analog watch. So I'm a big fan of watches. So to me, I think that looks great placed in the center. So we have symmetry. We got the classic gauges, so analog gauges. So nowadays everything being digital, so to me I think it's nice having that classic design. Alrighty, so before I take it out for a drive, I want to talk about one of the issues that I had just recently. I think it's really minor, but so the buttons, they get sticky. They had some kind of coating. I don't know if the coating was to extend the life of the lettering, that way they don't fade out, or maybe so the buttons can have a different texture. But now the car's been 10 years, I guess exposed to the sun, heat, it made it sticky. So, but I cleaned it up, like the top one here, kind of used some WD-40, some rags, and made sure not to get to the letters here because it will fade them out. but there's a video that I made about that, so I was able to clean it up. I just haven't cleaned this one's up. So that's one of the issues I had, and that started showing up just a couple months ago. So alrighty, so let's take it out for a drive and talk about how the car's held up over the last 10 years. Alrighty, so with ownership experience, I believe that the most important thing has to be its reliability. So I'm gonna talk about that first. So this car in the last 10 years hasn't had any actual breakdowns. So I have no breakdowns of estimates or anything to talk about because the car hasn't had any actual mechanical problems. So I'll talk about some maintenance costs. And I actually called my local Maserati dealership last week just so I can give you guys the current prices. So my local Maserati charges $215 an hour, so that's actually very reasonable. There's some Chevy dealership charging just as much. I mean, so like on my Corvette, I mean, their labor comes out to be the same. So it's actually pretty reasonable considering how much other dealerships charge. So like an oil change is 600 bucks for this thing. It does have an engine that was built by Ferrari, so even the oil filter says Ferrari on it. I do the oil change myself, so I save over $400. I buy the filter from Maserati, and so it's a very easy job to do. I got some videos on that. And so another maintenance cost, so this car had its brake pads replaced like at 20,000 miles. That was before I bought it, and I called on an estimate on a brake pad replacement. It was $1,300. So $300 were for the labor, $1,000 in the parts. So could probably put in some aftermarket pads and save a lot of money, but their labor was 300 bucks. Another thing, you know, like the little stuff, cabin air filters, I do those myself. I got a video on it, changing the air filter. It's really easy. So little things like that, I wouldn't pay for it considering just how easy this car is to work on. Also, like, it doesn't have the turbos like some of the other Maseratis has, so this one's simpler. We got a lot of room. Like, for example, if you want to do the spark plugs, there's room under the hood. So the coolant flush, I was told that was $200, so very reasonable. The differential service was, they told me it was $550, so that included the parts and labor. Same thing with the coolant. Now the transmission, on my maintenance, says it's not supposed to be serviced because this one has the true automatic, the CF. The ones that have the automated manual, those they recommend changing the fluid every 2 years, so those have an actual clutch. This one has a torque converter, and I called the Maserati dealership and they told me the same thing, not to service the automatic transmission, that they're basically the fluids for life. So I'm not gonna fool with that. So, but those are some of the more common maintenance to expect on the Granturismo. Alrighty, so the next thing is, I guess, how fun this car's to drive. This car, I've actually been daily driving it for the last 2-3 weeks now, and I love it. Like at night, like I was talking about the headlights, how they change the angle based on how tight of a curve I'm taking, so that's really nice. The car is really comfortable. So I'm 6'1", and I don't even have the seat all the way back, so I got another inch that I could move the seat back. So for somebody that's really tall, this car is great. It's really comfortable. Like on my Corvette, I have, even with the seat all the way back, it feels cramped. And also, like on my Mustang, the seats on the back are kind of useless. I mean, they're for like a child. But on this Granturismo, we can sit 4 adults, full grown-up adults, and that's the seats are actually very useful on this one. So comfortable, very nice ride. So even after all these years, the car still rides great. It don't rattle, it don't squeak. So I can say it definitely has a good build quality to it. And I love that engine noise. To me, the noise adds to the driving experience, and that makes the drive very enjoyable. I actually had a salesman tell me having a hard time selling the new Granturismo. People just can't get over the fact that you can't get a Granturismo with the V8. I mean, the new Granturismo is a fast car, but it just doesn't have the same kind of sound that this one has. And I actually get a lot of good comments. The people that I share this car with, take them on rides, and they just love the way this car sounds. It sounds very unique. I love driving it on the side roads, working the gears, listening to that exhaust. So I just think the V8s just make the best sound, especially naturally aspirated. But unfortunately, the way the emissions are going, I believe this year Maserati finally discontinues the V8s, so no more V8s. So now they're all V6s, and I think you can get the Ghibli and the Grecali in a 4-cylinder. So definitely this noise will be missed for sure. And like I said, even the salesman told me some people just can't get over the fact that no more V8s. I think this car's a great bargain considering the new Granturismos. I think they start at like 180. They'll get over $200,000 on the MSRP, and this one's the 2008s. They can be had for as little as $20,000, and that's crazy. And you know, it'd be one thing if these cars were like terrible and always breaking down, but they're actually holding up. They seem to be very reliable. So now that I'm mentioning reliability, so there is one other little hiccup that you might experience with this car. So this car has a very large battery, and the battery needs to be fully charged in a way. So the car may still be able to start, but if that voltage is not where the computer wants to see it, it can actually do some strange things. So one time, I guess it was cold that day, I'm not sure, but the stability control came on, the ASR, anti-slip regulation. It said like 3 different lights, and next day I put it on charge and haven't seen that since. So it can do some strange little things just for not having your battery up to its full charge. So yeah, in the last 10 years, to summarize it, the car has been reliable, no issues. I mean, I guess the little sticky buttons, but I mean, I don't even think that's anything major. That was just a cosmetic thing, so I still gotta clean up the rest. The car, quality wise, it still rides very well, so no rattles, no squeaks, shifts fine, starts up every time. The car's a comfortable car. I've been daily driving it lately. At night it's great, considering the headlights that adjust to your steering wheel position. The car still looks beautiful, so it still brings a smile to my face even after all these years. So just so many features of it that I think it makes it timeless. So I think maybe, considering now that the end of the V8 Maseratis, that era is gone, I think I could see this car eventually bottoming out on its value. I mean, it already seems way too cheap. I've seen some of them just under 20,000, and I mean, I think that's crazy for such a car like this.